Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Before we dive into the video, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon. Let's dive in. What if coming home from war meant finding your dreams stolen by your own family? When I came back from Norway, the first thing I wanted was to hear the roar of my Mustang. It wasn't in the driveway. I stood there, duffel bag in hand, still smelling of cold air and gun oil, staring at an empty patch of gravel. How far would you go to reclaim what was taken without a fight? I thought maybe Dad had moved it. Maybe he'd kept it safe while I was gone. He walked out of the house, coffee in hand, not even pretending to be surprised. I sold it, he said casually. Helped your brother with his beach house. Then he smiled. Be thankful, son. You finally did something useful. I didn't yell, didn't move. I just watched him sip his coffee and walk back inside, as if he hadn't just gutted me with a sentence. 5 minutes later, the police called him. That was when everything began to unfold. My father used to call me his pride. Said I was the one who got things done, the one who never backed down. When I enlisted, he called me a hero. When I came back, I was just an inconvenience. My brother Ethan was always the golden one. Charming, careless, useless. He could burn through money like oxygen. And Dad would still find a way to excuse it. A beach house investment, he called it. I called it theft. But I didn't show it. I'd learned long ago that anger was a luxury. Control was power. I went up to my old room that night. Everything was where I'd left it, except my things of value. My medals boxed up, my photos replaced with his. Even my name plate on the door was gone. Ethan's room. It was subtle but deliberate. My father hadn't just sold my car, he'd replaced me. I remember standing by the window, staring into the dark yard where my Mustang used to sit. That car was my first real win in life. I bought it at 20, rebuilt it myself. Every bolt, every layer of paint carried a piece of me. He'd sold it like scrap metal. That's when the switch flipped. I spent the next day doing what soldiers do best, gathering intel. I found the bill of sale. Dad had underpriced it by half. Ethan's name was on the deposit slip. The car was sold to a man named Charles, a collector who lived one town over. Perfect. I didn't want to steal the car back. That would be too small. I wanted to make them feel what I felt. Losing something they thought was theirs to command. Step 1 was Ethan. I found his new beach house, more like a party palace, funded by my car. He was hosting a small celebration that weekend. I called in a favor from an old contact in local law enforcement. Anonymous tip, possible drug activity, suspicious transactions, unlicensed renovations. Nothing illegal yet, but enough to make them come knocking. Step 2 is Dad. He loved control. The image of being the respected family man, the wise investor. I found the little things he'd hidden over the years. Offshore accounts, shady land deals, debts he'd kept under Mom's name. He thought no one knew. He was wrong. I packaged everything neatly, like a soldier cleaning his weapon. Then I sent it to the people who'd care the most. The local tax office, his business partners, and finally, Mom. That morning, I sat at the kitchen table, calm, collected, eating eggs while he read his paper. His phone rang. He answered with his usual confidence. Hello. Yes, this is Robert Hale. Then I saw his hand tighten around the cup. His smile faltered. The police? What for? Another call came in. His accountant. Then another, his lawyer. And then Mom walked in holding the documents I'd sent. Her eyes wide, cold, met his. That's when I spoke for the first time since coming home. Guess they found out who took my place. He looked up at me, confusion and dawning horror blending together. What did you do? Nothing, I said. I just told the truth. Within hours, his accounts were frozen. Ethan's beach house was swarming with cops and inspectors. Dad's partners started calling back their investments. His entire kingdom, built on lies and favoritism, collapsed like a card house. By evening, he sat in his office, staring at the floor. I'd never seen him look small before. You destroyed this family, he muttered. No, I said quietly. You sold it. That night, I drove to Charles's garage. The Mustang sat there polished and untouched. He greeted me politely, said he'd bought it fair and square. I nodded, told him the story, told him how it was sold without my consent. He looked at me for a long time, then said, "You know what? I'll sell it back to you for what I paid." I wired him the money on the spot. The engine came alive like it had been waiting for me. As I drove home, headlights slicing through the dark. I didn't feel guilt, only clarity. When I pulled into the driveway, Dad stood outside watching. The house behind him was dark. Mom gone. Ethan unreachable. Everything quiet. I stepped out, left the car running. 5 minutes, I said, was all it took for everything to come full circle. He didn't answer. He didn't have to. He finally understood. I didn't return to Norway. Didn't need to. I'd fought my last battle.